Have you ever picked up a simple old envelope and accidentally uncovered the whole story behind it? Hi, and welcome to Great Stamp Adventure. In my previous video, I showed you what I bought at Royalpex 2025 National Stamp Exhibition. I put a link to the video in the description below. One of those items was an airmail cover sent from Cameroon in West Africa to Switzerland. I chose and bought the cover because of the beautiful stamps on it, including stamps with fruit and the bird stamp. Both these are topics that I collect. Furthermore, the cover was sent from Africa, an area that I'm very interested in and collect. At first, I just liked the look of the cover, and that was it. I am not really researching postal history or social philately, but I want to obtain covers with stamps of my topics to enhance my thematic collection and to possibly use in thematic exhibits in the future. But out of curiosity, I decided on a whim to ask ChatGPT about it. And well, what I found surprised me. One basic looking cover led to a more amazing story than I ever expected. Some of the story you probably couldn't find easily on your own. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you would have seen how much hidden history can lie behind a single envelope. Let the story unfold. This is the cover on the right, and this is the front and the back of it. And this is the essay that the AI bot ChatGPT gave me, and it is very detailed. That's the way that I wanted it, so please bear with us, and I hope you will find it as interesting as I did. So let's start. First, we can look at the actual physical cover, and the envelope type is a lightweight barber pole airmail envelope with a red and blue chevron and bilingual par avignon by airmail preprint. Oh, through the whole presentation, please forgive my pronunciation of French and also of the strange place names. I'm really going to butcher it, but I will do my best. Okay, the next thing that we're going to look is at the currency. In 1973, when this cover was sent, Cameroon used the Central African CFA franc, a colonial era currency still in use today across several countries. Abbreviated as F, as you can see on the stamps, it was pegged to the French franc and tightly regulated. Now look at the stamps. First, we have 5 1-franc stamps that features a pomelo or citrus grandis. Then there's one stamp with a bird on it, a 10-franc stamp, and the bird is a grey go-away bird. And then there's a 40-franc stamp as a banana bunch on it, and the original stamp was a 30-franc stamp, but it has been surcharged to 40 francs. Then the last stamp features a traditional hat. You can note it is a 15-franc, and it has the country name in 2 languages, in English and in French. Okay. The total postage is 70 franc. What is interesting, one has always to be careful with the facts that ChatGPT gives you, because it can be wrong. And ChatGPT will give it to you with such confidence. as if it is really the truth and reality. But this specific, that the postage at that time was 70 franc, I think the fact is right, because I really could see when it worked out the answer that it spent a lot of time on finding the specifics of this. Okay, so the stamps are of a total of 70 francs. Then look at the postmark, was sent from Bafoussam, sorry, the name, and it came from Cameroon, and it was sent on 17 January 1973, and it's a circular date stamp, and it ties all the stamps, the postage stamps, together. Now on the back of the envelope, you can see there's a logo, and it is a 1 centimeter blue printed roundel. And in the upper arc, you can see Philately. And in the lower tropic, and then there's a crossbar with PSL on it. And this is likely the maker's imprint of Papeterie's Philately for tropical white airmail stationery, and it is not hand-stamped. Okay, next we're going to look at the full address in the front, the place to where it was sent. First, we have the word Firma. It is the German word for company, and it flags the address as a business and not a private person. The business name is Müller-Keller. It is hyphenated surnames and indicates that it's probably a small partnership or a family firm. The address is Riebergstrasse 7, and literally translated it means Vineyard Hill Street 7. And it is a real street in Stäfa, and Stäfa is also a place still in Switzerland, and it hints as an agri-wine link. Then we have the postal code. CH stands for Confederatio Helvetica Switzerland, and it is in the Zurich region, which the postal code indicates. Stäfa is a lakeside town in the canton of Zurich, renowned for its vineyards and export-minded SMEs, which stands for Small and Medium Enterprises. Lastly, it is from Swiss. This is the French for Switzerland, and it was the required terminal line for international mail. The takeaway of this, that the cover is a business post to a Swiss small and or medium enterprise in a wine-growing town, fertile ground for trade in agricultural produce or commodity samples. Now we move to the sender. The sender is F.R. Röflisberger, and the title is F.R., which suggests a religious title, likely Frere. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. French for brother, and it is rather not initials, probably. The surname origin is Swiss-German, and it is especially common in the canton Bern. What was the probable role of the person that sent it? It was probably an expatriate missionary or agro-development worker in Cameroon's Western Highlands. What does the fact that it was sent from Bafoussam means? Bafoussam is a regional hub for fruit and coffee trade, a known area of Swiss missionary presence. There is no company logo or letterhead with the sender, and it indicates that it's informal personal correspondence. Oops, let's enlarge it again. This is a little bit of background on Cameroon in 1973 when the letter was posted. I'm not going to go in detail to it. You can just know it was a German colony in 1884 to 1960. And then the French and British became involved. And in just before 1973, on 20 May 1972, a referendum ends federal structure and it became the United Republic of Cameroon, though older stamps with bilingual legends remained in use, like this stamp. The official languages of Cameroon is French and English, and that is even today. But on the ground, Cameroon is home to 250 plus indigenous languages, including Bamileke, Ivondo, Fulfelde, Douala, reflecting a deep cultural diversity. Okay, let's return to the stamps and why it pulled me thematically. The first stamp is a 1 franc Citrus Grande stamp, and there are 5 of them. It is Scott number 407, and citrus crops were vital to the local agriculture in that area of Cameroon, and it suits fruits and vegetables theme. The second stamp was of 10 franc, and it is a bird, the go-away bird. It is Scott number 406, and it is an iconic Sahelian turaco with a screechy go-away call. The next stamp has a banana bunch on it, and it is a 50 franc stamp that has been overprinted 40 francs. The Scott number is 425 overprint. It reflects the inflation. And bananas is a key export of Cameroon. The last stamp shows a traditional hat, and it has the bilingual legend. Scott 410, language politics is here on display. So the theme that it fits is ethnography and political history. Okay, why exactly 70 francs, the total of the stamps, and what was the postage at that time? So the charge was for an ordinary foreign letter, less than 20 grams was 50 franc, and it is based on this decree, valid in 1971 to 75, and then there was an airmail surcharge to Europe of 20 francs. And that was per 5 gram unit, and the same decree. And that brings us to a total of 70 francs, and it perfectly matched the postage and the stamps added, either calculated by Roelpex or assisted by a postal clerk. So it's a precise rate, and one of the surest indicators of purpose-driven, possibly business-related or official mail. Let's return to the logo again. It is reading Salapla, PSL, and Tropic, and it is a manufacturer's imprint and not a postal marking, and it is likely made by Papeteries Salapla of France. It denotes envelope stock designed for human tropical climates. These subtle marks are clues to global supply chains and envelopes provenance, not just the letters. I found that fascinating, that it was sent, the envelope came from a company in France, and what the company's name is. Okay, why would a company Müller-Keller cared about this mail that I got? Stäfa, the town, is nestled in the wine-growing Lake Zurich region, which in the 1970s supported small trading houses importing coffee, fruit extracts or cacao, exporters of enology or agro-industrial equipment to tropical countries, chemical firms supplying fertilizers or pesticides, and commodity brokers involved in the African-European agricultural corridor. This envelope may have contained crop reports, test results, invoices, or certificates, the paper trail of international agro-commerce. Unfortunately, the content was not in the envelope so that we could really see what it was. Okay, why is this cover collectible and of social philatelic value? It is a multi-thematic relevance, pomelo, banana, birds, and vernacular hats. You have accurate franking and CDS, satisfying from a postal historian's perspective. The sender as a subject, Roelfsberger, offers a human story of Swiss religious or technical engagement in post-colonial Africa. The envelope provenance, a rare trace of the tropical stationery trade. Personal relevance. Yes, ChatGPT knows me a little bit. A cover strongly aligns with your own thematic interests in fruit, vegetables, and fauna. Linguistic depth. Bilingualism on stamps mirrors Cameroon's complex colonial and post-independence identity. Here is a one-sentence summary of the whole thing. It was sent by Frere, I can't remember the name, but by brother Roelfsberger from Cameroon's coffee-rich Bafoussam to Müller-Keller in vineyard-lined Stäfa, Switzerland. This 1973 Par Avignon cover presents an intersection of visual themes, fruit, fauna, architecture, postal precision, 70 franc rate, linguistic politics, the bilingual country names, and material culture, envelope branding, offering a rare microcosm of the missionary, agricultural and commercial networks connecting Africa and Europe in the post-colonial era. That was interesting to me. I also asked ChatGPT to give me a summary of the postal history insights and of the social philately insights. So postal history, the franking, 70 francs CFA composed of base plus air surcharge, fully correct for 1973. The postmark, a clear dated cancel from Bafoussam, and it ties the stamps and shows authentic usage. The stamps used, a mixed franking combining definitive and overprinted issues, often seen in transitional economies dealing with inflation. The stationery, a branded Tropic Airmail envelope, shows attention to appropriate postal materials, especially in high humidity regions. And the routing, it was likely direct airmail via Yaoundé or Douala to Europe. Quickly look at the social philately insights. The sender, brother Roelfsberger, likely a Swiss missionary or development worker, exemplifying Swiss roles in education, trade, and agronomy in West Africa. The receiver was Müller-Keller, a Swiss business potentially engaged in agro-trade, viticulture, or import-export. The language, German and French, is both present, but also English on the stamp. The sender's Swiss-German identity meets Cameroon's bilingual state identity. But the bilingual language was actually French and English, so this is a little bit off the mark. Cultural layer, the cover carries agricultural imagery and trade connections, reflecting 1970s themes of food production, rural development, and global commodity exchange. Material culture. Even the envelope manufacturer hints at global colonial, post-colonial economic entanglements. French-made tropical stationery shipped to West Africa and used by a Swiss missionary to correspond with a firm in Zurich. Well, that's the end of it. And so a simple cover brought a very interesting story. Thanks for watching. I agree now. Bye-bye. And see you next time. Bye.
It's a happy